You've got police raids, top officials resigning, and a multi-million-euro fraud scandal. Sounds like a movie, right? Well, it's not. This is a real-life drama shaking the European Union to its core. And today, we're going to break down exactly what went down.
Okay, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's December 2025. We're in Brussels, the political heart of Europe. And behind all the closed doors and official meetings, a massive storm is brewing. And believe me, it's about to hit, and it's going to challenge the entire EU establishment.
So, you gotta ask yourself, what does happen when the EU's most powerful diplomats suddenly find the police at their door? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a spy novel, but this became very, very real. We're talking detentions, intense interrogations, and a crisis of confidence that just exploded onto the scene.
And let's be clear, this wasn't just some minor political hiccup. No, this was a bombshell. Honestly, it's one of the biggest scandals to rock the EU in a long, long time. I mean, think about it. Police raiding the EU's own buildings, sudden, high-profile resignations. The accusations are hitting right at the heart of the EU's foreign policy machine.
So where did all this start? Well, the seeds were planted a few years back, between 2021 and 2022, with a big contract. But the whole thing blew up on December 2nd, 2025. That's when Belgian police launched these incredible coordinated raids. And get this, just 2 days later, one of the main people involved resigns. The speed of it all, that alone tells you just how big of a deal this was.
Right in the middle of this whole mess is a really big name in EU politics, Federica Mogherini. Now, you might remember her. She was basically the EU's foreign minister, its top diplomat. And at the time all this went down, she was the head of the College of Europe. This isn't just any school, it's a super prestigious academy, kind of like the training ground for the next generation of EU leaders. But it wasn't just her. The investigation also zeroed in on another key player, Stefano Sannino. He was the top civil servant, the Secretary General, of the EU's diplomatic arm, what they call the External Action Service, or ESEAS for short. And let me just say, these are not small-time officials. We're talking about the people who were literally shaping EU foreign policy for years.
Okay, so what on earth could cause such a massive firestorm? Well, it all boils down to one thing: a contract. A very, very big contract. Yeah, we're talking about more than 10 million euros. And this wasn't private money. This was public cash. It was handed out by the EU's External Action Service. The same place that Stefano Sannino used to run. See the connection?
So what was all this money supposed to be for? Well, the idea was to set up a brand new European Diplomatic Academy, basically a top-tier training center for young, up-and-coming EU diplomats. And guess who won the big contract to build and run it? You got it, the College of Europe, the same place that Federica Mogherini was in charge of.
So after all the drama of the raids, the case gets handed over to the European Public Prosecutor's Office, the EPPO, and they came out with the official charges. And let me tell you, they are not messing around.
Okay, so the official charges are pretty heavy stuff. We've got procurement fraud. That basically means they think the contract process was rigged. Then there's corruption and conflict of interest, which is pretty self-explanatory, and even a charge of violating professional secrecy. You put all that together and it paints a really ugly picture, right? The accusation is that insiders might have bent the rules on a huge public contract to help themselves or their institutions. Naturally, an explosion like this has created two totally different stories, two completely opposing narratives about what this whole scandal really means for the EU. On one side, you have the official defense, the Brussels establishment view. They're saying, hey, we're cooperating fully, there's no proof anyone pocketed any money, and let's just let the justice system do its job. But on the other side, you've got the critics, especially Eurosceptic groups. For them, this is the ultimate I told you so moment. They're screaming that this is proof of a corrupt deep state in Brussels and that the EU is a total hypocrite when it talks about the rule of law.
And here you have Federica Mogherini's public statement. I have full confidence in the magistrates. It's a very measured, very calm response. It's classic crisis PR, right? You project confidence in the system, hoping it will all get sorted out in your favor. All right, so beyond the juicy headlines and the political drama, why does this scandal really matter? Let's talk about the real-world fallout, the immediate consequences.
The impact on their careers was immediate and huge. Just 2 days after the raids, boom, Federica Mogherini is out as rector of the College of Europe. And then Stefano Sannino announces he's taking early retirement. For two people at this level, two of the EU's most experienced diplomats, to just step down like that, that's a massive deal.
But the ripple effects go way beyond just two people's careers. A scandal like this, it eats away at public trust in the EU itself. It's political gold for Eurosceptic and far-right parties, it's the perfect fuel for their arguments against those faceless bureaucrats in Brussels, and maybe most importantly, it forces a really tough, really uncomfortable conversation about who's watching the people at the very top.
So, at the end of the day, that's the big question we're left with, isn't it? Is this just a case of a few bad apples, a couple of people who made some really bad choices? Or does this point to something deeper, something more systemic inside the EU? You know, a culture of cronyism and a real lack of accountability. How people answer that question could seriously define the EU's credibility for a long, long time.